Welcome to a very special installment of the Road to NBA 2K21. We're covering the All-Star break here in Year 5 today. After simulating 2 more games, our New York Knicks sit at 29 and 27 on the season, 7th in the Eastern Conference, and last episode, we discussed our brutal schedule heading into the All-Star weekend, but despite having one of the youngest rosters in the NBA, we were able to hang with the NBA's best team, the Milwaukee Bucks, who are just on a different level this season. A near triple-double for myself was not enough to secure the win, and Julius Randle unfortunately shot 1 for 12. A new acquisition, Montrezl Harrell, led all scorers from Milwaukee. They really just have such a solid team this year. So many new signings for them, but we sneak out a home win against the LA Clippers, handing them their 20th loss, albeit they were without Kawhi Leonard's services. But the Clippers are the second best team in the West, and this was a great team win despite Randle struggling again. Faran carried us with 33 points. And we're starting to become the Cinderella of the NBA season, if you will, one of the youngest NBA rosters. It took some time to hone our chemistry, but when we did, we started turning heads. We're 16 and 9 in our last 27, with a chance to add one more home win against division rival Philadelphia. Every single game against the Sixers has been difficult. We've been on the receiving end of some defensive gridlocks and smash mouth basketball from Philly, with all 3 of the previous meetings being decided under 10 points, and only one game featured any team breaking 3 digits. But we have churned out 3 wins in all, but that doesn't mean that getting those wins has not been easy for me or my teammates. As I begin the game, after scoring a basket, it will lead to a turnover and a Ben Simmons runout. So we're lucky to not have to face Kawhi in the Clippers game, as we got that win in simulating, as I give a quick assist up to Faran. And also tonight we don't have to battle Joel Embiid, who's nursing a foot injury, which is huge, as Embiid scored over 30 in the last meeting between us and Philadelphia. As Faran goes to work here, no good, but in need of a basket down 5, Mitchell Robinson gives us another look at the basket, and I knocked down another 3, as I was struggling from 3 for a little while there, but my average is now coasting up to a modest 34% from beyond the arc this season, and the team play continues to improve week by week. Obi Toppin to Mitchell Robinson. And you can really see the swagger in this young team, this young New York Knicks roster. We only have 2 players actually over 30 years old. Nice drop-off pass to Mitch, who scores once again. 5 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. This is probably my best start to any 76ers game so far this season. Of course, Ben Simmons has always given me a lot of trouble in my career ever since I faced him back on the Pelicans in our first NBA Finals appearance. So now here we go, a little pop screen for Cade Cunningham, our first possession of the second half, back out on the floor, and the rookie knocks one down. He paces all rookies in points per game and 3-point percentage. Cunningham continuing to turn heads. Here we go with Nerlens Noel, and then it switches over to Matisse Thybulle, who tries to slip back door, but me and Obi Toppin applying the pressure on him. Cade tries to make it 2 in a row as he turns his back to the rim. There's assist number 3. Once again, the swagger, man. These Knick players are very hungry, and you can see there's a lot less empty trips, a lot more crisp movement, and we're really starting to find each other. And it's just not just me throwing the assists. We're a top 3 team in assists per game. Everybody likes to share the rock in this team, as I try to put a double move on Ben Simmons, blocked from behind, but I still get it back, and I body Simmons down low. And that's kind of how it's been through the first 3 matchups against Philadelphia. It's not always pretty, but we have been successful all 3 times, just like that possession right there. I score more second chance points. 6 more rebounds than Philadelphia. Embiid's missing, and that's really been showing on the boards as long as, as with the stat sheet as well. And here we go with Cade Cunningham. There we go. How about a double screen for the rookie, getting him out in space? 8 points. One of the more efficient first halves we've seen from the rookie, and we are up by 8 against Philadelphia, who is currently 10th in the Eastern Conference. They've had some injury woes here and there, and it's really starting to show out. I mean, they began the season really hot, one of the best teams in the entire Eastern Conference, as I poked that one loose from Matisse Thybulle. He's been struggling all day, and then I go and battle Ben Simmons. I give up almost a foot of height against the Australian point guard, but I still get it to drop. So we'll jump ahead a little bit, up by 13, make that 11 after Shake Milton makes the floater over Austin Rivers, who continues to be one of the more productive bench players for us surprisingly this season. 7 seconds left, last possession of the third quarter. Here we go, a floppy screen for Austin Rivers. Nobody even on that side of the court to contest that shot. And Austin Rivers continues to enjoy a very impactful season off the bench. And as a Knicks fan in real life, I never thought I'd ever say that Austin Rivers has been more productive than Emmanuel Quickley, but that's one of the reasons why you haven't seen Quickley a lot. This has just been a really up and down, tumultuous year from the second-year pro, as Philadelphia continues to struggle having any sort of offensive identity, shooting in the lower 40%. Obviously, no Joel Embiid is not doing them any favors, as look at this. A little handoff to Obi Toppin, and for some reason, Matisse Thybulle got totally lost. Miscommunication from the 76ers. We haven't seen much of that this season. One of the better defensive teams in the entire league, but that's what happened there. And a very rare occurrence where I have more than one tray ball in a single game. So up by 11. Here we go, continuing to churn out easy looks for me and my teammates. Faran, finally my first assist to Faran in the ball game. Faran will actually be featured a lot in this episode. We're going to be cheering him on in the three-point shootout. Very excited for that, seeing if he can bring the three-point crown to New York City. That would be awesome. Up by 14. Here we go with Thybulle. A little bit of a mismatch as I'm hit with a very tough screen from Jackson Hayes. And if you guys know one thing about me, I've dealt with some knee injuries this entire series from the very beginning. I tore my MCL in my first season in the league, and I had some knee injuries in college, nothing too major, but I banged knees with Jackson Hayes and I'm limping, and I could feel that hit for the rest of the game in this one, and it really started to put an impact on my play. I didn't make much of an impact, I should say, from here on out. Meanwhile, Philadelphia finally starting to string together some good offensive sets. Meanwhile, our offensive game for the Knicks is starting to move into the neutral position. We're having some struggles finding any easy baskets against this stingy Philadelphia defense. Cade open, can't hit. Philadelphia on a big run. They've closed it to 5 now. This is the closest it's been since the first half, but Simmons is forced into a turnover. Finally, we get a stop. 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Here we go with Faran trying to extend the lead. A crazy shot over Ben Simmons. But if anybody can make that shot, you already know it's my hometown buddy Faran. So, despite my knee and some pretty decent pain, Philadelphia, we were able to string together some stops at the end of the game, and I had one last chance to finally seal it. I only need one from the free throw line. Here we go at the climax of this ball game, and this one extended to 2 possessions, and then this second free throw is just pretty much customary. I think we got this one in the bag. Both free throws go, capping off probably my best performance against Ben Simmons and the 76ers this season, sweeping the season series against our division rivals. 104-98, we were able to halt the Philadelphia comeback here in the fourth quarter and sweep the 4-game season series against Philadelphia. And honestly, I feel like there's definitely a big, collateral effect. We started playing better against our division opponents, so Philadelphia, Boston, Toronto, and Brooklyn. We lost our first, I believe, 7 games against them, and then recently against all 4 of those teams, we started playing much better. But as you can see, Julius Randle, his 3rd very poor game in a row. And you got to think, with Obi Toppin continuing to do his thing, play really well, maybe there's a switch coming at the power forward position, but Randle just helps us so much on the boards, and we are not a very good rebounding team. But that's enough business for now. That's enough talking about the season, the playoffs, our rivals. Let's kick back a little bit and watch some of the All-Star Game festivities. I'm excited. Finally, we see a hometown friend in either the dunk contest or the three-point contest, and I'm surprised we haven't seen, DeSean or Donnie in the three-point contest or dunk, but nonetheless, finally, Faran cracks his name into the three-point list along with Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Catley. So we haven't seen a lot of familiar faces, both friend and foe, as Damian Lillard begins us off as the first shooter. He has a 97 3-point rating, the third highest out of the field, 44% from 3 as it begins the corner rack, making 3 of 5, including that always important money ball, up to 6 points now. Going from the wing, trying to knock down his second money ball, no good, but he can make up for it for the 3-point shot, the deep zone, and he will bank it in. We already know Damian Lillard, so many matchups with him in the playoffs. He is no stranger to taking those long-range threes. Just watch my playoff series from last year in the Western Conference Finals against Portland. Now he's up to 12, pacing really well, especially if he can knock down this deep zone for 3 points, no good. And if you're unfamiliar with the new rules of the three-point contest, every shooter can pick their money ball rack where they get 5 shots with money balls. And Damian Lillard will pick the left wing and knocks down the first 2, but misses the next 3, up to 16 points. Plenty of time for Damian Lillard, doesn't have to rush, 8 seconds left with only 1 more shot to get off the money ball, and that one's well short. So Lillard with a modest 19 to start off the night. Let's see who's on deck. The second shooter of the night is Luka Doncic, 45% from 3. 2 games out of first are his Dallas Mavericks with his teammate DeSean, as Luka's actually an All-Star Game captain for the All-Star Game coming up next. 96 3-point rating for Luka, as he's making 2 so far out of the first 2 racks, and then he makes it 3 for the right wing, getting the money ball, now for the deep zone, and he will knock it down. So he jumps from 8 to 11 as he starts the top of the key rack. First 2 are, well, he exchanges makes and misses for the first 2. There is the 4th, and the money ball goes. Luka looking pretty good here, especially before that deep zone. Let's see if he can knock it down. He gets both of them, already matching Lillard if he can make one more, and he does. So he's at 19. And Luka trying to get 20, and he'll break it with 21 with the money ball from the right wing. Now for the corner shots. Here we go, 22 points. Luka now paces all shooters, and he will finish with a very good mark of 22 points. So Luka Doncic may have already punched his ticket to the championship round, which will take the top 3 shooters. Now we go with Aaron Catley, who is enjoying a pretty solid year. First season out of New Orleans. 96 3-point rating for Catley as he makes 3 of 5 to begin his night. 42% from 3, that's the second lowest out of the field, but he can still stroke it with the best of them. 29 and 27 record for the Memphis Grizzlies, as Catley and his Memphis teammates cling to a Western Conference playoff berth right now, 7th in the West, as Catley not pacing so well as he moves on to the money ball rack. He's going to need a couple of these to try to keep pace with Lillard and Doncic, but he only knocks down 2. This deep zone is so important, can make or break his night. Ooh, tough rim for my former college and pro teammate. Here we go with 10 for Catley, now in double figures. He needs some of these to go from the wing. He gets 3 of 5 there, as the money ball is not even close. And that will probably put an end to Catley's night. He exchanges makes and misses on the first 2 shots from the right corner. And there's the money ball for 16, so maybe did himself some favors with that money ball, but he would have to hope for some pretty bad showings from the other shooters. Now we'll move on to Steph Curry, 99 3-point shot, best in the field, no surprise to see him here. Here we go with Chef Curry from the corner rack, and he will knock down 3 of 5. Good start, 4 points for Chef Curry. Only 20 and 36 are the Golden State Warriors right now, not even close to a Western Conference playoff berth. But here we go with Steph already at 9, trying to make the deep zone. That one's a little bit off to the left, but for some reason Golden State really hasn't been much of a playoff contender in this entire road to NBA 2K series throughout my entire career, but Curry's not letting that stop him tonight. He's got a baker's dozen, trying to knock down at least one deep zone. That was nothing but net. We saw Dame bank one in earlier, but that one, no doubt about it, as he moves on to his money ball rack from the left wing. Curry finally gets on the board from this rack, but only hits 1 out of 5. A little disappointing. But he needs at least 19 to beat out Lillard, and he has that. 20, only up from here. 21 to beat out Luka. Not quite. So 21 for Steph Curry. Him and Doncic with really good rounds. And we have 2 more shooters here in the first round of action. First one is my hometown buddy Faran, and an interesting little strategy here. He's actually picking the first rack for his money ball rack. Pretty interesting, but he does make 3 of 5. That's the most we've seen out of any shooter with their money ball rack. In my estimation, you'd think that, you want to warm up a little bit before getting to the money ball rack, but Faran, no problems there, and then makes another money ball shot, putting him up to 9. Now going to the deep zone, another banked in deep zone triple, up to 12. And some interesting stats I saw for Faran, some interesting shooting splits. He shoots 41% from 3 at home, which of course is very solid, but 47% on the road, so he's better on the road, further cementing that he is a very good road dog, and ultimately you guys know Faran doing his best in the spotlight when he's the enemy. And that's why I think he's doing so well tonight, in this pressure-packed environment in front of all these fans, but he doesn't do so well on the left wing, so he's going to need some shots here. He needs 21 to get to the final round. 18, he's catching fire. 19, this one for the championship round. Faran ties Steph Curry. Only one shot away from Luka, and that will be your top 3 if Jamal Murray, the top scorer in the NBA through the All-Star break, cannot manage 21 points, and he's struggling. He also picks his money ball rack to be the first rack, but unlike Faran, he only makes 1 for 5, so Murray not pacing so well. Here we go, he makes one from the wing, as Jamal Murray, 87% three-point rating. That is the lowest in the field, but he is the NBA's leading scorer, as we talked about. Recently taken the crown from Jason Tatum, but he gets the deep zone. That's very big for him so far, but he's only pacing around 17 points right now. He needs to turn it on. Top of the key, hit his first 2, but then he bricks his next 3. Jamal Murray really needs this deep zone. This is his last chance. That is no good. So Jamal Murray really on his heels now, and you can see the pressure starting to get to him a little bit, starting to rush some of these shots as he's pretty much punched his ticket to an early exit as he enters his last rack with only 9 points thus far. It's going to take a miracle, but I don't think the math helps him as he actually ends up airballing a shot from the corner, and he reaches 12. So by far the lowest mark in the first round. So your championship finale, no Damian Lillard, no Aaron Catley or Jamal Murray. It'll be Faran against Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. Let's see if Faran, my buddy, can bring it home to New York. Let's see. Starting out will be Luka, as Doncic picks his money ball rack to be the left wing, only making 1, now 2 with the money ball here on the first corner rack. He's up to 4. I'm rooting for, of course, Faran in this final round, but I bet DeSean's in the crowd too, rooting for his teammate Luka, narrowly missing out on the money ball. He's up to 6 as he reaches his first deep zone off the back iron. Plenty of time for Luka. He reaches the top of the key rack, makes the first one, misses the second, got his third. Here we go. Luka maybe starting to heat up a little bit. This deep zone could really help him out. That one is a little bit long, but he does reach his money ball rack. This could make or break his championship round. The first one goes, the second one's off, third one, fourth one, fifth one. Luka 4 of 5, and he almost went 5 for 5. That second one really didn't do him any favors on the bounce. He's up to 17. Here we go. Luka with the money ball, 19. Okay, so that second half, a little up and down, but 19 is a pretty solid mark for the Slovenian product. Here we go with Steph Curry. He had the highest outing in the first round, 22 points. Steph Curry wants his money ball rack to be the second rack. He's rushing it, but he does get the money ball in the corner rack. Steph Curry, 99 three-point rating. Going to be very tough to beat for Faran. He makes his first 2 money balls, make that 3. Steph Curry, he's heating up. Oh, he barely misses the final 2 of his money ball rack. Now for the deep zone. Who else but Steph Curry would knock one of those down? Up to 12. The math is really helping him. He's pacing Luka very well, but the first 2 shots at the top of the key don't look very good out of the hand. He misses his first 4 and goes empty from the top of the key. Needs this deep zone. And who else but Steph Curry would knock down both deep zones? First time we've seen that all night. 16 points. He's starting to catch fire. He needs to catch Luka with 19. Money ball. Oh, almost had that whole right wing knocked down. Here we go. He ties Luka. One more shot for the lead. He got it. Now Steph Curry. He's just trying to stay in front of Faran for the money ball. That would have gotten him up to 23, but 21 is still beatable. That's what Faran got in the first round. It is a tall order, but my faith is in my hometown buddy. Here we go. He airballs the first shot from the right corner, but he finds his bearings and will knock down 2 for 5 from that first corner. He's up to 3. Faran needs 21 to take the championship of the three-point contest to Madison Square Garden. He's starting to fall behind a little bit. He needs this money ball. Oh, he only got 1 from the right wing. He's starting to struggle a little bit, but the deep zone does him many favors. Top of the key, switches his money ball rack. Hits the first, up to 9. Nearly hits the second. Gets the third, friendly bounce this time. Got the fourth. Faran heating up to 15 points. Here we go. He needs 21. Deep zone, nearly missing, but it's okay. He's still on a good pace. 20 seconds left in the round. 16. A little bit off on the second. The third rims in and out. He got the fourth for 19. Faran, another money ball. Here we go, his second of the final round. He's up to 20. He needs 2 more points. Here we go. Come on, Faran, tied up. He got the tie. Money ball for the win. Faran wins the three-point contest shootout. Brings the title back home to New York. Beats out Steph Curry on a game-winning money ball. And those money balls made the difference, knocking down 3 of 5. And also his money ball rack was also a show in itself. What an unreal performance. We know Faran as a microwave, and he really turns on when the pressure itself turns on. Ever since high school, he's been like that, and I think that's what really set him apart from these other shooters. So, we're gonna hop in and out of the dunk contest. I originally wanted to show it. I've never played or watched the dunk contest on Next Gen, and it's safe to say I was a little disappointed. We had 2 rookies in the field. We had Jalen Green and Jonathan Kuminga, along with Hamidou Diallo on OKC. And this right here was probably the best dunk of the entire contest. Nice little dance from Jalen Green as well. And then on the very next dunk, Jonathan Kuminga decides to copy it, and that's when I decided, yeah, I think might be a little bit of a waste of time to sit on this. And after stealing Jalen Green's dunk, Jonathan Kuminga won the dunk contest. So these judges were, deciding to smoke a little crack before coming to the arena tonight. But nonetheless, Kuminga is your dunk contest champion as we turn to the main event of the night. Welcome to Indianapolis, everybody, home of the Pacers, as my team, Team Giannis, supported by me and Donnie, go up against Team Luka, who drafted Faran and DeSean. Second year in a row, I'm an all-star, and me and my 3 hometown buddies are taking part in it. Team Luka starting 5, we got Doncic, Durant, Jason Tatum, Paul George, and Karl Anthony Towns. And for Team Giannis, we got Trae Young, Dame Lillard, James Harden, Giannis, and Nikola Jokic, as Trae Young hop steps his way to a 3-point play, getting my team on the board first, Team Giannis. And Trae Young, top 3 in the NBA in both points and assists, 24 points, 9.5 dimes. And his Hawks are 5th in the Eastern Conference, with a former teammate of mine, Drew Holiday, as his backcourt partner. So we're switching over to Durant and Team Luka, who, by the way, KD was probably the best player in the first half for either team, as he ended the first quarter with 8 points. But his Brooklyn Nets a little underachieving, 24-30 at the All-Star break, 12th in the Eastern Conference. As we move along here, Nikola Jokic finding a dime out to Damian Lillard, and I never expected me and Dame to be teammates in any setting, but that's what we have here tonight. So we're up by 3 early. Luka Doncic, his team, comes back the other way, trying to do himself a favor by getting his teammate on the board, Jason Tatum, who is 2nd in the NBA in points at about 25 a night. 8th in the Eastern Conference are his Boston Celtics at 3 games under 500. They're a couple games behind us, as here we go with PG-13 stepping it back, as Team Luka is on a huge run now. 17-14 game as Donnie checks in for our side and Faran checks in for the other team, as Donnie tries to give an assist to Harden. No good, but Bam Adebayo, who was in MVP talks last year, as he's coming off an NBA championship for his Miami Heat, beating me and my Pelicans last year. And Bam Adebayo is averaging similar numbers than he did a season ago, so perhaps he can flirt with an MVP once again, as Donnie goes up against KD, who's been the hottest player in the first quarter, and earns a stop. And then on the other direction, here we go with James Harden directing traffic, as then Donnie sets a very good screen for Steph Curry to free himself up, the runner-up to the 3-point contest. And for some reason, like I talked about in the three-point contest, the Warriors have not been much of a threat. They are 20 and 36, 13th in the Eastern Conference, as Faran plays little point guard here. And he narrowly misses an assist to KD. Good rebound by Harden, outlet to Donnie G, up for the transition three, and he got it to go. Donovan Gray, the first hometown friends who get on the board in the All-Star game. As we zoom out a little bit, we see DeSean at the scores table. He's getting ready to check in too, to join Donnie and Faran out on the floor. As Donnie right now is enjoying a career year in Portland, just under 20 points per game, 12.5 rebounds, 3 blocks, leading the NBA in both those categories. But Portland has looked a little worse for wear heading into the All-Star break. They've lost their last 6 games rather, as DeSean checks in. He will record a rebound and then record a hockey assist as he sets up Jamal Murray, which will give Russell Westbrook an easy look from the corner, cutting the lead in half from 6-3. As Westbrook's Wizards have been a very pleasant surprise in the Eastern Conference, as they are currently 5th right now in the East. 32-29, a reach and foul then on Russell, as look at me at the scores table. I'm checking in for my first minutes of my second All-Star game appearance, and I'm excited, trying to build off of this good first quarter for me and my Team Giannis teammates. So here we go. I'm joining the floor out there with Giannis, Bam Adebayo, Damian Lillard, and DeMar DeRozan as Donnie checks out, and I'm going up against Luka Doncic, the team captain. I've had some battles with him in the playoffs, and already I'm throwing up a lob to Bam Adebayo. Already an assist for the NBA's leading assist man, 11 a game for me this season. Now up by 5 on my first defensive possession as I rotate over and help out on Ben Simmons, who was rejected by Giannis. And then a flashy pass gives some oohs and ahs from the crowd as DeMar DeRozan will pull up from 3. Already 2 assists on my first 2 possessions. DeMar DeRozan was the last pick on Team Giannis this season, but DeRozan now finds himself on the OKC Thunder, averaging 15.5 points, 56% from the field. 25 and 32 are the OKC Thunder as Luka links up with his teammate, my buddy DeSean, for a turnaround post fadeaway, giving DeSean his first points of the NBA All-Star game. So here we go with Russell trying to knock down three-pointer number 2, no good. I record the rebound, and I'm off to the races. I can fly past Ayton, and there we go, one-on-one against me and Karl Anthony Towns, and that is too easy. Already some highlight plays from myself. I got Cat looking silly, and I'm exploding to the cup. My first points now. Now we just need to get Faran on the board, but me and him are not on the same team, so I hope that does not happen. I know this is an exhibition game, but I'm trying to win this one. As I outlet up to Damian Lillard, as I let my teammates do a little bit of work on the offensive end. What a pass from the Joker, Nikola Jokic, averaging near a triple-double. 18, 9, and 7 for Jokic this season, with the best West record, 37 and 19 for his Denver Nuggets. Up by 6 now. I'm trying to contain Luka as Giannis helps me, but fouls KD on the second chance tip-in. And I'm only going to play a handful of minutes before I check out. But you got to be enjoying what I'm doing so far, providing a little bit of a spark, as KD is already up to 19 points. An early contender for All-Star Game MVP. So back to the bench I go, up by 9 is me and my Team Giannis teammates, but Karl Anthony Towns makes up for getting his ankle snatched in the All-Star game, and Towns is actually leading the Timberwolves to the 4th best record in the Western Conference, 34 and 21. They have John Wall in this series along with D'Angelo Russell, so they have a pretty good contending roster. And there's Faran finally getting on the board. Like to see it, but yeah, you know me, I'm trying to win. So at the line now is the NBA's leading scorer, Jamal Murray, averaging around 26 a night, with the Denver Nuggets coasting right now, 37 and 19, the best record in the Western Conference. No good on the second free throw. Here we go with Trae Young, who's already having a pretty nice night. He'll hand it off to James Harden as he fades to the left, and he still knocks it down. Team Giannis looking very difficult to stop on the defensive end for Team Luka, 68-42. As Jason Tatum's forced into a tough shot by Donovan, who checks back into the ball game. Here we go with Trae Young, a little handoff to the Joker, one-on-one against Karl Anthony Towns. He'll swing this one around to Steph Curry. He swishes home another one, 65-48. We are dogging Team Luka right now. But it's a little too early to be calling it game over already. It's the All-Star game. Anything can happen. Down by 13. They try to get a stop here, but behind his head, Steph Curry finds Donnie for his second field goal. 67-52. It's turning into a rout. You gotta love what you see from our guys. Up by 14 entering the break as Kevin Durant leads Team Luka in all scorers with 18 first half points. As we jump to the second half of action. Still not out on the floor. All starters come back in for both sides. First possession for Team Giannis as he controls the pace, immediately attacking KD. No good. He's there on the glass. Clucks again, and he will score once again. A frustrating defensive night for Team Luka thus far. As we're under 10 to play here in the first quarter of the second half. Here we go with KD trying to operate in the post. Kicks it out to Luka, who's been a little quiet as the team captain. 75-58, not out of it just yet. As coming out of this timeout, I would find myself back out on the floor after only 4 minutes of inactivity here in the second half. As Team Luka is threatening again, down by 11, I receive the inbound. This time Russell Westbrook is my matchup. I'm out on the floor with Donnie. As I give him a little dribble handoff and he's hesitating, I want him to take the jumper. I'm trying to give him an assist, but not quite that time, and he's got to take a page out of DeSean's book. Watch this. Jamal Murray stuck in the short corner, gives it to DeSean, and no hesitation from three. DeSean Christian with the three-pointer, shooting 42% from beyond the arc, 12 unanswered points for Team Luka to cut this bad boy down to single digits. 20 points on the dot and 7 rebounds for DeSean on this season as I record assist number 2 to Bam Adebayo, who puts DeAndre Ayton on a poster. It's kind of funny. Me and Bam were just competing for an NBA championship last year. Now we team up in the All-Star game to try to get this win, and then I record a steal. And I tell Donnie on the fast break to go up and get it. Here we go. Fits to Donnie G. In between all of the hometown friends, Donovan, DeSean, and Faran, I've definitely spent the least amount of time on the floor with any of them. With Donovan, I've barely been on any of his teams throughout the entire series, so it's nice for us to get a little appearance together here in the All-Star game as we try to defeat DeSean and Faran, but those two are having pretty good nights of their own. There goes DeSean with three-pointer number 2. 22-6 run for Team Luka to cut this bad boy to 4 points, and they're threatening to even take the lead before we even hit the fourth quarter. So here we go with DeMar DeRozan, one-on-one against DeSean. He's getting harassed. Dribble handoff to me. Here we go with Russell Westbrook in my pocket. I'll give a little handoff to Curry, who stop and pop from the top of the key. Gets it done and keeps Team Luka off of our back. There's assist number 5 for myself to go along with my 1 field goal and 2 rebounds. Now Karl Anthony Towns will try to post up Donnie. Gives it up to Bradley Beal, who splits me and Donnie. And man, Beal is such an offensive threat. Like I said, 4th in the Eastern Conference is the Wizards, the surprise team of the Eastern Conference. It's 32-23 for Washington as I check out once again. Team Luka down by a single possession, and Jamal Murray will tie it up. A huge run as Team Luka comes storming back. Like I said, this is the All-Star game. Anything could happen as we move to the final period of play, and of course the new All-Star game rules. The first team to score 24 points from the leading team's sum will be crowned the champion, as Luka Doncic is really starting to heat up here in the second half. The target score is 114. Team Luka had 90 going into the final period as they ended up taking the lead before the fourth quarter. Here we go with Trae Young with the little baby J. Nice job there from Trae Young, cutting it back down to a 2-point game. And after we knot things up back at 93 apiece, both clubs are now only 21 points away from their final goal as James Harden, who is now a Chicago Bull in this series, will force the turnover on Luka. Harden was last year's All-Star Game MVP, and he delivers a very crucial assist to Trae Young to retake the lead, 95-93, as Faran and DeSean Christian check back in. Faran back at the point guard position. We want to see him get a little bit more aggressive. He's only taken a few shots in the ball game, but there goes another one. 95 apiece, the three-point contest champion, Faran with his second field goal to tie it back up at 95. Dame Dolly getting harassed, and Faran pokes it loose, receives the turnover, and here we go. He'll run the break, behind the bad pass. DeSean is there. That might be the best pass we'll see all night. And right when I saw DeSean leaking up the left flank, I knew exactly where that pass was going. What a find from Faran. As DeSean and Faran trying to complete the comeback bid, but not if I have anything to say about it. I check back in for some huge minutes here in the final untimed period. We're trying to reach 114 before our opponents, and Faran checking me on this possession. I receive another screen from Bam. I've already thrown him 3 assists. Here we go, trying to make it number 4, but that one is rejected by Karl Anthony Towns. Jamal Murray, he'll lead the break, but pull it out. They didn't have numbers. As Jamal will try to feed the post to DeSean, and that one's taken away by Harden for his second steal of the fourth quarter. Here we go with Curry trying to break down Jamal Murray. Inside to Giannis. That layup is good. 97-97. We keep exchanging baskets here in the final untimed period. Here comes Faran. And there's just sometimes where Faran gets this look in his eyes where you know he's going to shoot. And as the saying goes, shoot or shoot. Faran with a huge three-pointer there, up to 7 points. But we tie it again at 104 apiece as Donnie checks back in. Faran and DeSean come back out. Backdoor feed though. Donnie was completely blindsided by that screen. And there goes Paul George as he flexes to the crowd. 106-104, Luka and the blue jersey's back on top. As this pop screen is set for Brandon Ingram for the lead. That one's off the back iron, but Donnie with a huge rebound, getting harassed inside, gives it back out to me for 3. But I cannot knock down the game, or the lead taking 3. And then Luka makes me look silly on the fast break, putting me in a blender. 2 more baskets go for Luka and his teammates. 112-104. Team Luka 1 basket away from completing this huge comeback, but Steph Curry, my backcourt partner here down the stretch, will knock down a pull-up J. He leads Team Giannis with 19 points. 112-106. We need a couple stops and 8 unanswered points if we're going to pull off now this comeback, and Paul George is unable to make the game-winning 3. 112-106. Back out on offense. We need a couple unanswered baskets. Gotta be very safe on these possessions. Screened by Giannis. Nobody even there to contest me at the rim. 6 points and 5 assists for myself. 112-108. We need 3 more stops and 3 more baskets. Can we pull it off? Bradley Beal now back in the game, only with 1 field goal to this point. Gives it back out to Luka Doncic. Ball reversal to Paul George, who again cannot knock it down from the corner. We catch a break there. We're going to need some luck on our side if we're going to pull off this comeback. Now we're the ones that are tasked with the comeback victory. Here we go with Giannis with a head full of steam. He's blocked by Cat, and inadvertently the Greek Freak kicks it and keeps it in bounds where he was hanging on the rim, giving Luka the possession. And I'm trying to stop him. Going to the basket, he's blocked, but the ball's still free. He gets it back and puts in the game-winning layup. Team Giannis collapses in the third quarter. And Team Luka wins 114-108. And even though we took the loss, it was a very memorable All-Star game. Came up a little bit short, but still, this one was a lot of fun to play. Steph 19, Trae Young 17, and James Harden with those 3 very important steals and probably had the most all-around game out of any player. And Donnie had 7 and 6 rebounds along with that 3-pointer in the first quarter. And we scroll down a little bit farther, we find Damian didn't play so well. And I finished with 6, 2 rebounds, and 5 assists. And this overall was a very fun All-Star game. I like the way I played. I wish I made that 3. That's the only real regret that I have. As Faran, he had some big minutes down the stretch, including that huge 3-pointer off balance along with his 2 steals. 3 for 6 shooting, and leading all of us in points was DeSean, the only hometown friend to reach double figures, to go along with his 6 rebounds, 2 made 3 balls, and leading all scorers was Kevin Durant. He is your All-Star Game MVP with 22 points, 8 rebounds for my rival here in my 5th NBA season. So that'll be the end of the All-Star break. When we come back, we will pick it up where we left off, trying to improve our conference record to try to improve our 7th standing in the Eastern Conference. When I begin next episode, I didn't have time for it today since this episode went a lot longer than expected, but I'm going to show you guys all the stats around the league, the rookie stats, so you guys can see your players and how they're doing, and the NBA standings, talk a little bit more about how our Knicks are doing, taking a look at more of the team stats and the storylines around the league. That's how we're gonna open up next episode. And we're also gonna talk about a little nagging knee injury I sustained in the 76ers game and how that might have me out for a couple games. So stay tuned for that twist and the rest of the Road to NBA 2K21 series. Next episode coming soon.